Hi there, Pete here from Radio.co. So today we're going to be comparing these two mics, the Shure and the Blue Sona. Now the Shure is well known in the industry. Everyone uses it, from people like Joe Rogan, the Howard Stern Show, and so on. But today we're going to look at one of the newcomers, which is the Blue Sona, and give our opinions on this mic compared to the Shure. So let's get on with it.
Thanks for checking out Radio.co on YouTube. If you want to see more kit reviews, live webinars, and handy broadcasting tips, then give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click the bell icon.
Now we're going to start the video with the Shure. Now seemingly everyone uses this mic and it really captures a voice really nice. It also does a really good job of getting rid of quite a lot of background noise, and we'll compare both the mics doing just that a little bit later on. Now when we were setting up this review, we really struggled to pick out the negatives in this mic because we've used it on countless videos across the years and it does a really good job. But if we were going to be really picky, some of the few things we found. So on the back of this mic, there's a few buttons which kind of change the audio presets. Now these are quite fiddly to get to and can kind of be a bit of a pain, especially, that 1 minute where you're setting up and you're in a rush and you're trying to change them. So that could be improved. Also, the pattern of the mic is a cardioid pattern, which is generally quite directional, but still can pick up a little bit of background noise, which we'll cover a little later on. Other than that, and the annoying cable mount where you try to put the cable in the top, that's quite annoying. Other than those little kind of picky things, it's a really good mic and we're really happy with how it's performed over the years, and I can see most people are as well. Now, as we start to look at the good things for the Shure, the list is kind of endless, but here's just a few we really like. So the main one being the sound the Shure delivers, and that's probably the reason most people in the industry use it as a standard. It gives a really nice sound, whether you're female or male. The other reason you'll use it in quite a busy environment is it does do an okay job at getting rid of background noise, and we'll be comparing them both later. And lastly, what's really nice is it's got this internal shock mount system. So if you're moving the mic around like this, you don't hear any of the noise which you might do on another mic, for example. And as well as the internal shock system, it's also got an external air suppression system, which basically allows people to be walking by you or noises on the table or so on without it being picked up. So we really like that, and it kind of makes the mic stand above the rest because those noises happen quite a lot in the industry, and having a mic which just gets rid of all those noises is a really good thing. Now as we move on to the Blue Sona mic, once again, a bit like the Shure, these negatives as they were are very picky things. We really did struggle to find the negatives on both mics. A couple of the negatives though, the presets on the Blue Sona mic can be a bit less versatile than the Shure and maybe not work great for all voices. So you'll hear there's already a difference, and we'll do a proper test of this later, but you can hear this, the Blue mic's a bit lighter for my voice, where the Shure mic was a bit deeper, which I personally prefer. However, that might work for some people. And then lastly, the small negative, which could also be a good thing. It really depends how you're recording with the mics, whether you're in a noise environment, whether you're in a studio environment, however you're doing it, is the directional pattern of the Shure mic is cardioid, so it's quite general. The directional pattern of the Blue mic is super cardioid, so it's very directional. So if you're in a noise environment, that's good. So that could be a good point. However, if you're just sat in a studio and you move around a little bit, you'll hear sometimes that your voice goes off. So it's kind of one of those things where the Shure, you can move around, you can be a bit more majestic with your hands and your body. Whereas the Blue mic, you really do need to focus that you're talking down the mic and very directional. So once that could be a good thing for you, but also just something to note if you're one of those people who likes to move around. Just take this in mind, you're going to have to be very directional and sit still when you're using this mic. And on the note of recording with this mic compared to the Shure, we see the Shure being used quite a bit in terms of recording some music, quite general. So you might, put that down and record a few people doing a few different things. You could do that with the Blue mic, but you will struggle because of how directional the mic pattern is. You'll really need multiple mics to do multiple people or multiple instruments. So it's just something to keep in mind. Now, when we look at the mics more generally, there's a lot of very similar things. However, the key difference is the outputs of the mic. So on the Blue Sona mic, the mic outputs plus 25 dB, and that's because it has what they call a clear amp built into the mic. So the amp is in the mic itself, it's outputting directly out the mic, which basically means when you plug this mic in, you're not going to need any extra gear. And then when we look at the Shure mic, the output is minus 59 dB, which is quite a big difference, which means you're going to need an amp, something like the Cloud Lifter or many mic amp and processors out there just to bring that volume up. So that's something to keep in mind, that when you want to use the mic like the Shure, you're going to need to make sure your mixing desk supports having an amp, or that you have an external amp to use with a mic. Whereas with the Blue Sona mic, you don't need to do that, it's built in. Now, before we move on to the fun bit, which is to test and head-to-head the mics, the most important thing is how much do they cost. So the Blue mic, when it's new, goes for £300, and the Shure mic goes for £400. So there is quite a little bit of a difference there. However, because the Shure mic has been around for much, much longer than this mic, if you look around online, you can often find it for $320 to $330. So if you're going to buy either of these, I would recommend looking around, but especially for the Shure, because it has been around for a long time, so you'll often be able to find deals out there online. And on the note of cost and looking around for deals, one thing to note with the Shure, because it's been around much longer, you're often going to be able to either find a deal or even buy it secondhand. So in some cases, you could get a real bargain of a mic if you're happy with it being a few years old. So definitely look around for that. And now it's time to do the all-important thing of testing the mics compared to each other. Do or do not, there is no try. Do or do not, there is no try. Now, I'm not sure about you, and I'm not sure about if you're listening in headphones or more generally, but there is a difference in the sounds. I can hear it a little bit. In my personal opinion, the Shure gives a nicer, deeper, richer sound than the Blue mic. However, it does pick up a little bit more background noise, which we'll go on to in a minute, where the Blue mic gets rid of that sound and is very more directional. However, I think the sound is a bit light. But let us know your opinions. Comment below and tell us what you think. Now, the next test we're going to do in today's video, and we're going to stay with the Shure, is the plosives. You know, the P's when you say your P words. Peter, Piper, Pictor, Pepper. Peter, Pepper, Pictor, Piper. Now, personally, I think this is where the Blue... Peter, Pepper, Peter... This is where I think the Blue mic wins, and it kind of gets rid of the P's quite a bit more. This might be because of the bigger muff on the mic, but also in terms of how the mic is internally built. So I would say that's one up for the Sona. And now for the penultimate test, let's take a look at the processing on the mics. So at the moment, we're using the Rodecaster, and this has built-in processing, and is doing a good job of getting rid of the noise. But let's hear what the mic sound like with no processing at all. So we're going to turn the processing off. And straight away you can hear the mic is a bit less deep, so I'm less deep, less directional than I was before. And also the background noise is more vibrant, and we can hear a bit more roomy noise. This is where I think, without knowing yet, we'll see the difference between the Blue mic due to that directional pattern it's got on its mic. And now let's look at the Blue Sona mic with the processing. So once again, this is processing on, and if we turn the processing off, we can hear again, there's more room noise, a bit like we had on the Shure, because the processing was really like noise gating the room and getting rid of that background noise. However, unlike the Shure, I personally don't think my voice changes too much, and I still feel like the Blue mic gives quite a nice sound to the voice, which tells you it's probably doing less processing than the Shure mic in terms of with it on or off, the voice sounds pretty much similar, whereas with the Shure, with it on and off, I can hear quite a difference. But let me know what you think. So that's it for testing and comparing the two different mics. Now, picking a favourite is quite hard to do because they both have very good features and they both don't really have many negatives. I think if you're like a one-man band podcaster, the Blue Sona might be better for you in terms of cost because it's only £300 new and you don't need an amp. Whereas the Shure mic, you need that additional amp and it's a little bit more money brand new. But like we said, you can find deals for them. However, the Shure mic is a bit more versatile, and actually you might find yourself buying it and then using it for multiple different things, whereas the Blue Sona mic, you might find you buy it and then you only use it for voice. So it really depends on what you want to do in your circumstances, how you're going to use it, budget and setup. Personally, if I had to pick a favorite, just because of the sound it does on the mic, I would pick the Blue Sona mic. I also really like that it does a really good job of getting rid of the background noise more than the Shure mic. However, even though I'm going to pick this as my favorite mic today, both are fantastic mics and both will do the job you need, whether that be podcasting or recording radio or anything like that today. For more videos like this where we compare different products and for more general Radio.co systems, make sure you click subscribe by clicking the button up there. Or if you want to watch our full in-depth video fielded on the Blue Sona mic where we get into the nitty and gritty details, just click up here to watch it. Until next time though, take care and happy broadcasting.
And just before you go, how would you like to launch your very own online radio station? Surprisingly, it's a lot simpler than you may think. And the absolute best way to get started is by chatting to myself or another member of the Radio.co team. To do that, just head to radio.co/demo to schedule a video call with us, where we'll discuss your plans, answer your questions, and of course, guide you around the Radio.co software.